The Vermont Workers Center started over a decade ago to fight for the rights of working and low-income people. In May 2011, after 3 years of grassroots organizing, our Healthcare is a Human Right campaign achieved a major breakthrough. Vermont passed the country's first universal healthcare law, which will make healthcare a public good.
Any way that I go home, except I haven't gone home. My way home.
When Irene hit, the Workers Center had just begun an effort to identify unmet needs in communities across the state. So after the storm, we joined thousands of Vermonters who went out to volunteer in disaster relief efforts. We saw many beautiful acts of solidarity and learned a lot about what communities should be all about. The impact of the storm exposed a human rights crisis that extends far beyond the immediate flood emergency or the ongoing healthcare crisis. Vermonters most affected by flooding were also those struggling to meet their fundamental needs of healthcare, housing, food, education, and jobs. We heard many stories about injustice, inequality, and the struggle for our rights. These stories needed to be told.
This is the now infamous whetstone. You'll see over there a flood marking. A week ago today, approximately at this time, this brook was up there and over there, over the 6, way over the 6. Starting with 1, 2, 3, these were knocked off their foundations and are automatic goners. Starting right with 71 down this way to that blue trailer down there at the end, it was optional as to whether people decided to repair their places or not. Everyone has decided to leave. They've had enough. I invite you just to put your feet on the carpet. And you can hear it go squish, squish, squish.
Can you explain what's happening?
Yes, the water came up so high that it just totally flooded, not just the underneath, but into this area here. So this trailer is another never to be rehabilitated. And yes, I did get flooded in here. And yes, I do have black mold on the ceiling like crazy. And do I think FEMA's going to help because it's not my main living quarters? Probably not.
We are heading down to Hartford, and we've got a route of folks that we're going to see, and we're going to deliver lunches. You want me to stick it up there?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Carried flood insurance for 35 years. And then I got so expensive we couldn't afford it, we dropped it. Then this happened.
It's amazing that, the number of people that have been flooded that will say to me, I'm okay. I want you to give it to somebody else.
Inside the walls, it's all just full of, this mud, from the leftover water and stuff inside all the walls. And that's got to go, of course, or else it'll start molding and bacteria. And something you wouldn't expect to see in Vermont, I can tell you that.
There's a flood.
Yeah. Well, you just don't expect something like that to happen in Vermont. But.
Yeah.
I went to the basement to see how deep it was getting, and when I opened the door, there's just a rush of water coming in. The water actually got 4 feet deep in the living room. 2 weeks before this fiasco, my insurance company dropped my coverage because I got graphite asphalt siding, and they said they can no longer cover me. Hopefully this FEMA thing comes through. That's sad to say, but that's pretty much my only hope for any kind of future. This used to be the kitchen. I had full-length counters that came out even with this all the way to the back wall, and then it elbowed around. It was like all the way around the wall. And the water in here, because it's enclosed, the water in here was actually up to about there.
Somebody had notified my daughter, which lives up in Waterbury South, that they were evacuating the town of Waterbury because there was some high waters coming in. Within 5 to 7 minutes, we had almost 3 feet of water. Well, if you were to look at my front windows up here, the water level was this high inside the mobile home. So you're looking at 5.5 to 6 feet of water, grant you, within half an hour.
This is our house at 43 Patterson Park. We've been here about 8 years with our 2 boys. The house is going to be gone. It's going to be destroyed, either towed out or destroyed. I'm hoping we can come back if the state allows the park to come back and just build new and start over. Yeah, I just did our last walk through, make sure everything was out. It just really brings up a lot of memories that we've, been doing over the past 8 years with our kids, and so it's just hard. It's really, really hard to do it, to say goodbye to something that we've worked so hard for.
You tell them that's our water level. Say that's Irene's water level.
The thing is with this park is most of these people, they lived on a limited income, like a Social Security income. And so this is really going to hit them hard, not knowing what to do next.
The Berlin Fire Department used it to take, I think it was either 6 or 7 people out of the park.
And why were they using the boat to transport people?
To help try to get people out of the park because the water came up so fast that some of the people just didn't have time to leave. It helped save 6 or 7 people. If she never runs again, she didn't die in vain.
I have this app on my phone. It's called WeatherBug. And what it does is it sends alerts for bad weather. And there were a lot of them. I called my sister and I said, we're coming over, and packed up overnight bags, and I went to my sister's home where I felt safe.
We were watching the river. She was. And then as soon as it got up past where it did in May, and started coming across the road into our driveway, we decided maybe we ought to get out of there. And by the time I got to the truck, I was up to my ankles.
I was on the phone with my daughter. You're talking about the storm. And she came down, she said the water was getting high. And then she said, I wonder if we should take our car up on the hill. And I said, yes, let's do it. And by the time we got top of the hill, my husband came out of our trailer to come to meet us. He was walking in water to his knees.
I called my husband. He was out in Waitsfield, and told him about it. Then I ran up to my parents and told my parents about it.
I saw the water actually coming down Weston Street where I lived. And I grabbed my keys and I put my car up to the higher level at the end of the street, the extension. And as I was walking back, the water was already up past my ankles, and then the first step of my porch and the second. And
we stood there and waited to be rescued, and we was rescued in a bucket loader.
We waited in the rain for, it seemed like a very long time, and then we went out on a bucket loader in the bucket.
When we were standing there in the bucket loader for the operator to talk with people, you could feel the bucket loader just sliding.
the water was just so high and it was very scary.
And I didn't know if we was in the road or where we was, because you could see just a little bit at the top of the cars. A lot of the windows were full of water. Water was way up to the windows. We was really terrified. I think that's why I was shaking, and they wanted to take me to the hospital because I could not stop shaking.
And then we got to Route 12 and got out of the bucket as fast as we could because it felt just like the bucket loader was just sliding right off the road.
And I was afraid of people were going to lose their lives out of this, not only my husband and I. There was a lot of people in that park that I did not know if they got out or not. And a lot of them was our friends.
When I came down the hill, down to the trailer park, and all I could see was water everywhere.
I was trapped for nearly 6 hours. The water was inside my home. It was mid-thigh. I moved my photographs. Those were important to me. I obviously couldn't take all of those, so I laid them flat. I moved them up higher.
My daughter called me and said, "Have you been on Facebook?" And I said, "No, I've been busy." She said, "Look, your trailer is on there and it's flooded."
Well, I'm sure if I or anyone else had ventured into that water, we would have drowned. We would have been swept away.
It looked just like a lake. You could just see some of the trailers, only about half of them. And I was just stunned.
It was Colchester Rescue that got me out of there at 10:30 p.m. that night. And it was like a movie set I was approaching. There were all these bright lights, and there was the fire trucks and the ambulances and the National Guard and police officers, and they took me out, and I stepped on that dry land, and that's really when it hit me.
And so how did you feel?
Awful. Just like that. Your life's destroyed.
If you look back here, there's a random set of stairs that's just hanging out. And behind that, there's a red shed. There's a white and red shed. Behind that, there's a red shed. That shed didn't belong to their house at all. It was like from the other road. And the water just dumped it right there. And you'll see there's like random staircases around the park, and same with oil tanks that just got picked up and shuffled around and moved, you know. Most people had like at least a few feet of water in their homes, and folks got no warning.
So if you could imagine, there was like a couch there, and there was a couch here, and there was a coffee table, and there was an area rug. That was over there. I brought the propane in, or the thing for the grill, because I didn't want anybody to take it. But when we came back, the refrigerator was laying flat in the floor on its back. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
It's kind of hard the first time we went back and saw it, but you know, we just got to work through it.
The yard was still covered with water and kerosene.
Kerosene.
You could see red all over the yard.
How much mud again? Did you mind showing?
Probably that much.
Out in the yard.
Out in the yard.
Mud, or was it, you were saying it had?
Oh, probably sewer
Mud
and everything
and kerosene,
else.
sewer. And inside we had probably that much mud. Plus 25 inches of water.
I just broke down Friday. It was full of mud. Everything just about was destroyed. And we went up on top of the hill and got my car, and we left, and I couldn't go back.
Hundreds of dollars in food, hundreds of dollars in clothing, makeup. You know, my makeup and things that I had in cabinets that I had built up, all gone.
We was under a lot of pressure because you didn't know from one minute to the next where you was going to lay your head.
Some folks I know were sleeping in their cars. One lady I know in the park actually stayed in the trailer a couple of nights because she had nowhere to go.
Shortly after, we got into my pickup and we headed to a motel.
My granddaughter had reserved a room for us, and I got up there and I put it on my credit card, and I said, "Why is it so high?" And she says, "Because it's a disaster."
They charged us $109 for that first night. And then the following night it went down, the following night after that it went down.
My daughter went down the next morning, and we got it, I think, for 60 something a night.
We says, "Why did you charge us so much the first night?" And they said, "Because you guys came from a disaster. That's why it cost so much for the first night."
You can't afford to stay in a motel room. So we had to put quite a bit up front to get the apartment. And it was quite an expense.
And how much are you paying for rent?
$750 compared
So
to $320. Yeah, I'm paying $750 compared to $320.
And how much did the apartment that you were looking at today cost?
$700 with no heat or electricity. And it's it's a 2-room apartment.
So where's that extra income going to come from?
Where's what?
The extra money going to come from to cover that difference?
It's coming out of our the money will be coming out of our Social Security checks, which is going to lower, other things for us.
I make under $1,000 a month with my Social Security and my part-time job.
So $700 is a pretty big chunk of your income.
Well, yes. Plus you got to pay your utilities. Money is always tight, but it was doable. But now, holy cow.
What happens if we simply can't afford to get rid of our mobile home? Whatever money we get from assistance is going to go to starting our new lives. If we simply can't afford to dispose of it, what's going to happen? Are we going to get sued? What's going to happen in that aspect of it?
Right after the storm, there was a select board meeting. Rod and I went to it, but we don't think we got the answers that we needed.
Just about all of us went to the meeting because we needed information. We needed to know what was going on. We needed to know how to go about taking care of our mobile homes.
They really weren't helping us.
Did you guys go to the select board meeting, the very first one?
At the school?
Yeah, the one at the school.
Yes, we did.
Yep.
And what was that like for you?
Confusing, didn't learn anything different.
It was kind of just run around in circles, so you're trying to beat around the bush.
Why do you think they were doing that, or why do you think they didn't?
I don't know. I see no reason. I said they didn't want to spend money.
So I want to know who is going to pay to take that mobile home that no one can live in.
If you have flood insurance.
I do not.
If you do have flood insurance.
Many of us do not have flood insurance. Who is paying to remove it?
I don't have an answer for that.
The main concern was what was going to happen to the homes that we could no longer live in. Who was going to pay for the removal? And at that meeting, we didn't get any answers.
They have to be removed because no one can live in them. And the owner of the mobile home park, of course, is trying to get it up and running again. And he wants to make money, so he's going to make money off of us if we leave our mobile homes there. There was an individual there who had commandeered a whiteboard and wrote on it, buying mobile homes for $1,000 or taking them away for $4,500.
The older trailers, he wanted $4,500 per unit to tear down.
To some of us, that would be like asking for $100,000. Most people that lived there were on fixed incomes. A lot were elderly. It just wasn't feasible to do it that way.
And we got no information at that point from that meeting to even know that if this was a good deal or not. He bought several of the mobile homes for $1,000 and he's fixing them up and he's going to sell them for $20,000.
I do know that there were some people that paid out $2,000 or $3,000 and their homes were supposed to be completely removed, and some of these individuals came in and stripped off what they wanted and left the homes.
My fuel tank was stolen and my heating vents under my mobile home were stolen.
And he said, well, seeing you guys are on Social Security, I'll make you a deal for $1,000 cash. And I heard today that he had turned around and sold it to somebody else for $1,500 that's got a daughter and they want to fix it up and live in it. And I don't think it's right. I wouldn't want my kids in there. With the mold and stuff, it's not safe. I think probably the reason she wants to live in it, she's probably desperate for housing. People are just so anxious to get into a home because winter is setting in that they're going to take what they can get and not look into it and not worry about the problems down the road. We did what we thought was right at the time because we wanted to remove a mobile home so nobody else would move into it rather than sell it. We wanted it tore down. And then the guy turned around and sold it for $1,500 instead of tearing it down.
The town didn't do anything. Rumors were running around that the town wasn't even going to pay for those big roll-off dumpsters to throw all the contaminated stuff into from our mobile homes. And they were kind of fighting it.
Other communities stepped up to the plate in Waterbury and Moortown and Dummerston, and the town officials came in and did a lot. There were fundraisers, and it just seemed that those in Berlin weren't even considered. The Vermont Workers Center, people from there were coming down into the park and talking to residents and talking about what could be done, you know, how we could get officials that would listen. And so we organized and we spoke out.
There's been a lack of communication from the select board as well as other government officials that are supposed to be helping us. There's a gap in some of the communication between the different agencies, and there's a lot of inconsistencies. And so we're here tonight to try to organize, to get everyone together to figure out where everyone is, what we need as a community, and what we'd like to see moving forward.
A good number of us went to that meeting, and what a difference between meetings. It was so well organized. You had tables, there were signs, there was material, there was information, and that was a big help. The people running the meeting were regular folks that either were from the trailer or mobile home park or families of people who lived in the mobile home park. It was us. It was us.
The problem is that all of us are complaining individually, and I think one loud thunder to the government to say, hey, we're here, you need to help us, is going to go a lot further than me complaining and you complaining and you complaining. If you're seeing something that you're not liking, let's organize, get together, make a thunder at them, and make them come in and do it.
It lifted my spirits. It gave me hope that I could maneuver this whole thing. That we weren't alone, we weren't all just floating out there on our own. And from that, we've had regular meetings ever since.
We, the people of Vermont, believe that our most vulnerable neighbors, those living at mobile home parks across the state, including many elderly and disabled Vermonters on fixed incomes, should not bear the whole cost of removing their destroyed homes or repairing damaged homes.
We call on our elected leaders to provide funds to ensure that these homes are removed or repaired safely, and that residents have a long-term place to live as soon as possible with winter approaching.
We live in the trailers because basically it's a cheaper way to live. We can't afford to spend $200,000 on a house.
Mobile home residents for equality and fairness. And the group came up with this name. It means that the mobile home park residents band together to be equal and have that fairness in how we are being dealt with. And it not only has to do with money, it has to do with respect, and it has to do with power. And because we formed this group, things have happened. To figure out when to send it and the wording and what have you.
It means we all want to stick together. Not just our park, but all the parks in the state.
And we figured, I guess, that maybe if we all stuck together, the word would get out instead of being put on the back shelf and not just forgetting about us.
Okay, well, my name's Steve Campbell, and I lived in Weston Trailer Park. Now, with you guys here, we're wondering if you guys would pledge your support by signing a petition that we have that will ask for funds to remove or help repair some of the homes and funds to help secure affordable long-term housing.
To whom are you making that request? Is it to the state? Who's the petition going to go to?
It's going to go to, if you guys will sign it, we're going to take it to the state. And you were asking what the name of the group is. We have mobile home park residents for equality and fairness.
Okay.
You know, we're just asking basically for our wonderful government to stand up and do what's right. You know, just because we live in a trailer park, we're no different than somebody living in a $500,000 house. We just can't afford those houses.
Very well said. Please stay.
Just one question. About the petition, is that something that
Is there a limit to how many?
you guys are interested in signing?
And will they be in it tomorrow?
Is there not going to be the actual?
One.
Go ahead, Jim.
One of them signing it. Jonathan.
Would you mind just briefly describing what happened at that select board meeting when only one person signed that?
Jonathan signed.
Well, that just really bothered me because, as I said right to them, we are not trailer park trash. We're no different than anybody else. The guy that did sign the petition, I know he came into the park. He was actually helping people take stuff out of their houses. If a lot of the other ones had gone into some of these trailers and seen the devastation, maybe they would have been a little bit faster on helping. It felt as though to me that they just didn't understand what we were going through.
We feel like we've been left out. We're desperate. You know, we're desperate. We don't know what to do. And with the fact that we had the flooding, which was very traumatizing, we can't make good decisions for ourselves right away when we don't have the information. What we're feeling like is people are saying things without our input and promising us things, and we're not seeing any results from them.
But in terms of the issues that I know you're most concerned about immediately, which is how do we deal with the homes that have to be removed?
Yes.
And who's going to pay? Phil and others will have an announcement about that no later than Monday, probably.
No one talked to us at all. It was a group that got together that thought they were doing a wonderful thing and very proudly came out with it, and shocked all of us because we can't afford the $1,500. If you are the lieutenant governor, you've got money in your pocket, you have savings in the bank, and you can cover that very easily, but we can't.
The press conference that Phil Scott had was like, some people heard 15 minutes beforehand. We didn't know till 2 hours afterwards.
And what was that press conference about?
I think removal of the mobile homes. He was trying to get it for $1,500.
So that was about you guys?
Yeah.
But you weren't a part
But
of
no, we weren't. Nobody was invited.
Nobody from, Trailer Park was invited.
And what about other meetings about where the money is going or what kind of help should be provided?
Really haven't heard about any.
Do you think that you should be?
Yes. Well, if the money's being raised for flood victims and we're flood victims, I think we all should have a say in how it gets divided up.
It just felt like just one more example of our voices not being heard at all. And not even just that. It has to do with not even considering that it's important for us to be heard.
Others in the state weren't even aware that we still had all these needs that weren't being met, and we were getting nowhere fast. And so we did have a press conference, and that really got the ball rolling.
What's happening in the papers especially is they're making it look like great strides are taken and things are really going good and everything is fine at Weston's Mobile Home Park, and it's not. Everything is the same. All the basic needs that people are having, they're having to maneuver this all by themselves, really.
My main concern is like the elderly people and little kids moving back in here until we're positive that there's no more contamination.
Lieutenant Governor made an announcement that they had negotiated the price of disposing of our mobile homes down to $1,500. And what we would like to say is, as I've said before, $1,500 to some of us would be like coming up with $15,000. We just don't have it.
We needed something big like that to happen to push officials in the right direction for assistance to come our way. They got a bird's eye view of what we were going through. And so that was key, really, in turning this around so that we benefited.
The forum tonight is on affordable housing, to try to get people into more housing before winter sets in, and try to remove our mobile homes and see if we can't get it done for nothing.
I'm speaking for 33 units in Glen Park, which is a senior park of Tri Park in Brattleboro. The little Whetstone Brook came up and took out 11 of those trailers. You will see dumpsters in the street. You will see a big pile of debris. You will see open-sided trailers with fiberglass.
After being displaced by Tropical Storm Irene, my neighbors and I have found that we are paying at least 3 times more a month for rent than we were living in our mobile homes. I do not have the income or the resources and fear having to pay an extra $700 a month for at least a year. I don't know where I will come up with the money to fill this gap. It may look like we have found a place and everything is okay, but we are definitely not okay.
I've been in a motel since this has happened at $2,400 a month. So that's $5,000 of my FEMA money's already gone for a motel. My son and myself were like anything at this point, so I can cook a meal.
I mean, I just don't understand why FEMA can't move a little bit faster. You know, they know we're all in a jam, and at first they came through the trailer and they know what the trailer's like. So I just can't understand why they don't try to help us a little bit more.
You have to organize, like we have this here, this group. We are organizing. And when we get finished with this group organizing, we're going to take the state and we're going to get them organized also.
We have been waiting for 8 weeks, and it has been almost a month since the announcement of a plan for removal. But so far, none of our homes have been removed. What will you or your organizations do to make sure that there is immediate, tangible progress?
We've been working with the Secretary of Commerce, the Lieutenant Governor's Office, and Vermont Community Foundation, specifically to address the problem that was posed in the question of removing mobile homes. We have been successful in creating a program. I think some of you have heard of it, and we're certainly going to be broadcasting it a lot. in the near future to remove all the homes that are significantly damaged or destroyed still in the park at no cost to residents.
To clarify, is this statewide?
This is statewide for anyone within
We would have just gone and licked our wounds and done the best we could, like we've always done, alone. But because we organized and we worked together, we ended up being successful, and the money was there for us and it was provided for us to have our mobile homes destroyed and taken away at no price to us.
We must acknowledge that Vermonters living in mobile home parks are often the Vermonters who are least able to deal with this kind of disaster. Many of us are on fixed incomes. Some are living paycheck to paycheck. We don't have a lot of money in savings, but we are your neighbors. We are state workers. We are grandparents. We teach your children. We check you out in the grocery line or the bank. We pay taxes and vote. We have families, and we have a right to housing and dignified lives just like everyone else.
And have you had an experience like that before, of coming together with your neighbors? Or?
No.
No.
I mean, we've been there 3 years, and it's the first time we met a lot of them.
We all shared something equally in losing our homes. And so Hurricane Irene brought us together as a unit. And so together we spoke and we had our voices heard.
What happened during the flood and the aftermath of it pointed to a bigger problem which everyone has been facing for a long time. And it's not just one problem, it's a laundry list of problems. So we decided at one of our last meetings that we were not going to stop because those particular needs were met. We decided that we were going to join with the Workers Center to help in the campaign to put people first.
Has it become harder for you to make a living, have adequate housing, health care, food, education, or a good job because of the economic crisis?
Yes. My sister's on food stamps. She has a kid, and they cut that down because they said that they were giving too much out to other people. So they cut her benefits in half.
The issues of poverty in this state don't go away when the last shovel has scooped out the last level of mud in a basement. You know, we're dealing with deep-rooted problems that are just exacerbated by what's happened.
These same folks were struggling with hunger or housing or lack of health even before this disaster. So, of course, the disaster made it worse, but it was already there to begin with.
They can't develop property in a floodplain, but you can have a mobile home park there. And that's how we get affordable housing. So we're vulnerable.
People have to step up and make sure that we have affordable housing, like our governor and stuff like that. Step up and say, hey, we need more affordable housing. There's a lot of people that's out on the streets. There's a lot of people living with their families now because rent is so high and there's not enough affordable housing. You know, they got to do something about affordable housing for people.
It's the people who have the least financial means, who live in the least fortified structures, in the most substandard housing, who are the people that tend to bear the brunt of these kinds of disasters.
There's no question
that the frequency and intensity of natural disasters, of major storms, of floods, of droughts, of wildfires all over the world is happening and is directly related to how this economic system worldwide is destroying the stability of the Earth's climate system.
Because climate change has already started to happen, one of the consequences of that is that we're likely to see more intense storms. We might not be able to stop a storm or change the weather, but we can minimize people's suffering as a result of those disasters. We can make sure that people are protected and people live in places that are safe.
I grew up in Vermont. No, I have never seen a storm like this.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
No. I mean, way back when I was young, we used to get a lot of snow. You know, we used to call them good old winters, but now it's turning into bad summers. I think the weather patterns are changing or something.
I think this is a direct result of global warming. I really do.
I just think that we're fooling around with Mother Nature too much in general, but I'm not a professional at it. But I think we've messed up this little world of ours in good shape, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't think it's my generation, but the next generation or so is gonna probably see a lot of changes.
Do you think it's going to keep getting worse?
Well, that's my opinion. You know, the more they mess around with, you know, the atmosphere and everything else, and I think Mother Nature's talking back to us.
We have created a society where our government does not really function for the people anymore. It functions for the power brokers and it functions for the corporations with big money, but it doesn't function for the people.
So we were talking about, you know, what's the problem? And I do like this cartoon right here. And, you know, here's our billions. U.S. resources for endless warfare, social welfare, 14 million jobless Americans standing on the side begging.
I don't know, it seems like the more money they make, the less they're taxed. I mean, the billionaires don't think they pay their fair share. Yet they want to cut from the lower income people to make up the difference. Why should they do that? Why not make them pay a little bit more?
Basically, in our country now, the rich are entitled. Everything is bare bones now. Everything is bare bones, and they want to cut more. Look at our roads. Look at our infrastructure. Where's the money going? You know, it's not going to all the services that used to be there. Where's it going?
I think this country and this world would be a heck of a lot better off if they would just put some of these rich people in their place and say, you guys are the reason why this world is like this. We need to give it back to the people.
If you want me to get political on you, we can go that route. That's easy.
Well, I'm wondering your opinion.
That's
too.
real
You know,
easy.
These are questions for
These
all of us.
multi-billion-dollar companies that don't pay a dime in taxes. That's why we don't have any money.
Right.
There's Fox News was reporting that there was a 55% decline in people making over $10 million a year. Who cares? We're fighting to get by. So who gives a damn about somebody making more money than they can possibly spend in their lifetime and not pay any taxes? That's where the problem is. You want to fix the FEMA budget, you want to fix Medicare, you want to fix Social Security, make them pay their taxes like they're supposed to. Quit giving them loopholes that shouldn't exist. And I am neither a Republican or a Democrat. I don't care. Makes no difference to me.
There's, I think, a facade over people's eyes in terms of what America looks like. We don't necessarily know that there are people who are our neighbors who are suffering from a lack of health care or from affordable housing or from a livable wage job. And just because we don't see it every day, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Do you think that access to higher education and cost of higher education is a problem in our community?
My apparently sufficient enough single person income did not qualify me for child care subsidy. So for the past 2 years, I've been shuffling him between different friends while I worked, usually not knowing week to week who is going to be watching him on any given day.
Who here has had trouble paying your rent or mortgage, or didn't have any safe, adequate housing?
I pay over $200 every 2 weeks for my health insurance. If we can just get the government from the state right straight up through to the president, we can get them to turn around and start saying, enough is enough. People need to be taken care of. And because without the people, we don't have no country.
People are human beings, and they're entitled to their human rights, which include food, housing, health care, education, jobs with dignity, the right to organize. There are all kinds of those rights. By coming together and by forming this solidarity that they have as a Vermont community and trying to help each other, it's our hope that everybody gets what they need when they need it.
I believe that as humans, we can't truly be free until we first meet the basic human needs.
This is what we think is right. We think that we want to live in a society where we care about each other and we take care of each other. And that means making sure that everybody has health care, everybody has food, and everybody has a safe place to live, even in the face of climate change.
I think we should care about one another. I think we should take that step before there's a disaster.
Oh, I think it's not just a storm. I think they ought to do it all the time. People are all equal. We were made equal and we should be treated equal. They should help everybody. And everybody should pitch in and help, not just a few.
I think even without a crisis, people should come together and make sure everybody is okay. I really do. I think it would be a better world than what it is right now, because people aren't out there to help one another.
Human rights is something that we should push for and we should thrive to have. We need to come together and support each other. We all needed to be treated equal, regardless of who we are, what color, what age, what weight, what dialect we speak.
We are now in a human rights crisis of epidemic proportions. We see the rates of the poor growing every day. We see masses of home foreclosures. We see needed social service programs being cut.
We actually have some folks here today who are survivors of the flood, who lost their homes in the flood. Sharon, who's back here, and Sandy, who's right here.
I have changed since this happened in a lot of ways. And one of the biggest changes is that I've become more myself and that my mind is clearer about and more aware of things around me that I can impact. Just by going through this flood and having to organize in order to get any kind of recognition or help showed me that I can do it and that I do matter. To get organized means to be heard and have power and have a say.
All of the country, people are getting together today to voice what they believe in.
Who are the 99%?
I'm the 99%. Since we organized our group, we have had all kind of coverage on TV, the radio, newspapers.
Have politicians paid more attention?
Oh, yeah, well, to a degree, because they're used to doing the things that they're used to doing. And I think they have begrudgingly paid attention to us. They still do things behind closed doors. They still don't think there's any reason for any of us common folks to even be involved in the talks. Yeah, it's a nice start. It's very empowering. It's very empowering. And it makes me want to speak up and not shut up.
This experience, it helped to add to who I am. A little different flavor, you know. I always like being in the water, but not that much water.
This is the kitchen that we don't have quite furnished yet.
Oh, I think it's helped me open up a lot because I always used to kind of stand back. Wasn't very well heard or seen, and this has made me stand out, know that people do need to get together and help each other.
Is there anything that you particularly miss from the old, like any specific things that you really miss from your old house that you lost?
I can't think of anything specific, it's just everything in general. 'Cause this isn't my home yet. Someday it will be.
Alright, I think, is there anything else or you want to say about it, or?
Well, thank you for letting me tell my story.
Today, we have a special guest. The Vermont Workers Center. Is here. To provide a teach-in.
The only way we can make change happen is by coming together. In our communities, in our workplaces, to demand our rights. That's what the Vermont Workers Center's new campaign, Put People First, is all about. Our policies must be guided by the values we share, and by recognizing that we are all in this together, and that each and every one of us matters.